You know, it's movies like this that make me think of Jeremy John's 1 rating that he always gives. I ain't gonna remember this in T-1 day. Yep, already forgot. Well, it's been a couple days since I've seen this movie, and if it was not for me writing my reviews, I would be struggling to remember anything. So, thank God for that. But hey, the best thing I got out of this movie was this, Marvel's The Thing testicle. Actually, I got this when I saw Maxine, which there will not be a review for, and I'll explain why at the end. So, let's just get this over with.
Gru, I need a word with you. Your family's lives are at stake.
What?
Maxime Lamal has escaped from prison.
I'm coming for my revenge, Gru!
We have to get to the safe house.
It has a vending machine! I love this place! Oh la la!
Look up!
Despicable Me 4 comes to us 7 years after the 3rd film and is the 6th film in this franchise. Do you really even care anymore? Seriously, does anyone give a fuck about these movies, really? This time around, Gru faces a new nemesis in Maxime Lamal and his girlfriend Valentina, and the family is forced to go on the run. I'm sorry, I really just don't care anymore. I'm sick to death of these freaking movies. There are way too many. They have overstayed their welcome. The only reason they still exist is because these motherfuckers make $1 billion fucking dollars. So before you guys completely go hating on me, and despite some of the stuff I just said, let me just state that I do not hate the Despicable Me movies. In fact, I really enjoy some of them. The first and second film are definitely 2 of my favorite movies from my childhood, and still to this day, they really hold up well. The first movie has a great story with some memorable and likable characters. We all agree that Vector is great, and it's just an all-around good time, and same goes for the second movie as well. As for the second one, it's the sheer definition of a movie that's just okay. It's not bad, it's not particularly good either, it's just kind of a movie that exists, but the one thing that definitely saved it for me was Trey Parker as the villain. I mean, it's Trey Parker. Who's gonna say the worst part of the movie was Trey Parker? Now, when it comes to the Minions movies, the first one, in my opinion, is also just okay. It's harmless, it got a few laughs out of me, Sandra Bullock was pretty good as the villain, and it was decent at best. Minions: The Rise of Gru was definitely an improvement on the first film, but honestly, it's one that I would have to rewatch again to get an opinion, because the movie was straight up ruined for me upon its release. Not only did the trailer show the entire movie from beginning to end without leaving anything as a surprise, but then there was Gentle Minions. I hated, with a fiery fucking passion, Gentle Minions. This was one of, if not the most... I can't say that. People are gonna get pissed if I say that. Now, you know what, fuck it. If you're easily offended, maybe don't watch this video. This was one of the most retarded ass things I've ever seen in my life. If you're not familiar with what this was, a bunch of morons with rocks for brains would dress up in their best suit and tie and go watch Minions: The Rise of Gru and act like it was one of the most important pieces of art they've ever watched. Some of it would even get out of hand to where these... God damn it, I really can't... I've used it once, I can't say it again. These dum-dums with brains that go bye-bye, they know they're no more. They just dumb, morons, idiots, stupid people. But what they would do is they would start throwing bananas at the screen as if they were dropped from the highest cliff and somehow lived. Okay, I think that's enough. You get the idea. I really could not stand Gentle Minions. It nearly made me give up on humanity. Also at the time, a friend of mine called them turbo virgins. I would just like to acknowledge that. So now we have Despicable Me 4, a sequel that no one asked for and was just made so the studio can make $1 billion for doing nothing. And I knew from the first few seconds of the trailer that this wasn't going to work, and it was so blatantly obvious that they're out of ideas. Okay guys, we need another fucking Despicable Me movie because Sing 3's taking forever. So, what do? I don't know, Gru's got a baby, Minions are superheroes. I don't know, let's throw in references that are decades old, like Terminator and Spider-Man 2. Even though those movies are great, it's just... I don't care. I did not care about seeing this fucking movie. And I love the first 2. This franchise has gotten old. It really, really has. But, to my surprise, I don't think this really qualifies as a movie. Because the entire 90-minute runtime, no shit, from beginning to end, is just pure nonsense. It's nonsense that doesn't have a purpose. These movies used to have story and characters, and yes, there would be minion gags, but there was a reason for them to happen, and they'd be spread throughout the movie. But here, the story they have is very thin, and despite being a Despicable Me movie, it's actually just Minions 3, because the movie will constantly go back and forth between a Gru family scene and then a Minion scene. Gru family scene, Minion scene. Gru family scene, Minion scene. Minion scene. Gru family, Minion, 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 Minion. I used to love the Minions as a kid. This movie kind of made me hate the friggin' Minions. And I loved Minions as a kid. Okay, you know what? A little bit of me was hoping this would come back to the magic of the first two films, but it really didn't. I would also like to state right now, kind of a spoiler for the rest of the review, I'm not giving this an F. I thought there were so many worse movies this year, but this one honestly kind of pissed me off a little bit. But here's the thing, the studio has realized why these movies make money. No matter what they put on screen, you'll pay full price to see it. We don't care, so why should they care? No matter what the movie's about, if you throw a minion in the advertisement, the shit's gonna make $1 billion. You can literally make an entire 90-minute movie about the minions trying to find Gru's left shoe, and that shit will make more money than half the movies released this year. It's like what Michael Bay said about his last Transformers movie. Sure, you know it sucks, but you're going to go see it. And I know people are in the comments are going to be like, dude, shut up, it's just a kid's movie. Kids deserve good quality entertainment too, and these used to be family movies. They are not for families anymore. This is a strictly kids movie. Oh, you know the whole plot, or let me rephrase that, the one plot in this movie, there's like a bajillion fucking subplots in this movie, but you know the main plot where Gru and his family have to go on the run from the bad guy? If that in any way sounds familiar, Family Guy already did this entire plot a long ass time ago. It was an episode where Chris ratted out a bank robber or something, and the family had to move to a small country town. And they did all the same things. Oh, and I'm sorry, did I say this movie is just for kids? I meant to say it is for the youngest of kids, like 5 and under. Like, I feel like, let's say around, maybe 10. Yeah, if you were 10 or older, this movie is not going to entertain you. And you know what? They're going to eat this movie up, because kids don't care what you put in front of them, as long as it's bright and colorful. Even if it's just a whole bunch of nothing, they're going to love it. If the fucking minions are on screen, they're going to enjoy themselves. Oh, wait, that reminds me. Hey kids, click on my video, there's a minion. Oh, you love minions, don't you? Yeah, watch the video. Anyone watch the video. There's a minion on my screen. I also forgot to mention that I got myself up early Wednesday morning to go see this at 11:20 a.m. and boy, was I not ready to see some of the imagery unfold on screen. There's one aspect involving the villain that they completely kept out of the trailers, and I was just imagining someone coming in to watch this movie that early, being hungover from the night prior, and seeing this shit. I know you're expecting a clip to pop up, but there's no clip of what I'm supposed to be showing you. And one thing that did not help with having to get up so early to watch this movie was the audience, which, yeah, it was full of little kids and families. Like, of course, I expected that. I don't care about that. The one thing that didn't help was this one guy, and I honestly don't know if he couldn't help it or if he had Tourette's or what, but there was this one guy, I shit you not, a few rows in front of me, who every, few minutes would go, "Hey! Hey! Hey!"
It's fun!
And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And I saw him in the lobby beforehand. I'm like, okay, I can guess what he's going to see. And I was like, you know what? I'll chance it. I do not care about this freaking movie. I mean, he didn't do it through the entire thing, but anytime he did it, I could just hear a kid behind me go, "Mommy, is he gonna do that the entire time?" And I'll give it to the advertisements. They didn't spoil everything like the Minions Rise of Gru, so yeah, a few things were kind of surprising, especially with the villain, as I mentioned. As for things I liked, the animation was good. I got a few very, very, very small chuckles here and there, and Will Ferrell was good as the villain. Honestly, if I didn't know it was Will Ferrell going in, it probably would have taken me a minute to be like, oh, that's Will Ferrell. But to get my point across about a few things, like how everything in this movie doesn't have a purpose, I gotta go into spoilers. So, if you are the one person who really doesn't want spoilers for Despicable Me fucking 4 of all things, I guess skip to the point of this video and get my final thoughts. I stare blankly into your soul as I talk about Minions. And again, I'm glad I wrote all this shit down because I probably would have forgotten about half of it. Alright, so where do we start? Okay, yeah. So, movie starts out, Gru's infiltrating this high school that he used to go to stop his new arch nemesis, Maxime Lamal, who's played by Will Ferrell. And guess what? That's what they left out of the trailer. This motherfucker is a giant cockroach man. Not like the one from Monster vs. Aliens, no. He's like, got a cockroach body with a human head. Again, I was not ready to see this shit at 11 in the morning. So at the high school, the villain gets awarded some award of some kind because he's like the best student, yada yada yada. It was I forgot to mention it's a high school reunion, or maybe I did, I don't fucking care. I really don't. But he wins, Gru embarrasses him in some way, shape, or form, gets him arrested, and because Gru got him arrested, he busts out of prison and is all like, I'm coming for my revenge, Gru! And, hold on, let me think. Cockroach Man. Oh yeah, there's a baby Gru now. I mean, Jack. It's fucking Jack! What do you want from me? So yeah, the bad guy busts out of prison via the help of his little cockroach henchman, and we never see that happen, even though that'd be kind of funny to see, just like these little cockroaches like busting this guy out of prison. So because he's after Gru and his family have to go into witness protection, and they all have to get new names and new clothes and crap. But what's the villain's big evil plan? He wants to steal Gru's baby because, I don't know, Gru loves his baby. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, the baby doesn't love him. He loves the mom, but he doesn't love Gru. So yeah, most of this movie then turns into a bunch of subplots where the family goes off and does their own things. Like one of the girls is doing karate. Actually, 2 of them are doing karate. One goes to school and gets kind of picked on, but we don't see that happen. Gru apparently is supposed to be selling solar panels, but he never does that. The mom goes to work at a hairstylist and screws up badly with one patient to the point where later on this patient is like chasing her through the grocery store, and I'm not even kidding, they start playing the Terminator theme out of nowhere. I thought that was just a joke for the trailer. Like, no, they actually do it.
You! Get back here!
Oh, and I guess I'll mention this because it was the one joke that got a chuckle out of me. There was this bit earlier in the movie where Gru went to the grocery store and his wife asked him for milk, and he gets like every single kind of milk besides regular milk, and she's all like, you didn't get regular milk? Well, they don't make that anymore. I'm like, okay, that was a cute little chuckle, I guess. So you're probably also wondering, what are the Minions doing all this time? Well, they get jobs at the AVL, the Anti-Villain League from the previous films, and 5 of them become the test subjects to become the Mega Minions. Because, fuck it, this movie's bored. So they're like, why don't we give the Minions superpowers? No reason for that to happen at all besides, we just want to sell toys. I'm not even kidding. We have the scene where they become Mega Minions. Then we have a scene where like they're going through the office like, hey, yo, we're the Mega Minions. Aren't we so cool? Yeah. And they're all like X-Men, Fantastic Four knockoffs. Then we have a scene where they're stopping crime, which is where the Spider-Man 2 joke comes in, where the stretchy one stops a train. But okay, I actually did get kind of a chuckle out of this. He stops a train by like pulling with his arms, but then he like slingshots it back into a building. I'm like, okay, that got a little chuckle out of me. But then literally in the same scene, they get rioted out of town, and the big fat guy, Bottom. Yes, someone actually laughed at that in my freaking theater. Yeah, but it's funny because his name is Ramsbottom, like butt. It's funny because butt. But yeah, like he picks up the Mega Minions and he's like, well, gentlemen, we're retiring you. So what the fuck was the point of them this entire time? But just to get the whole Mega Minion thing out of the way, later on in the movie, something happens to Gru, and he's like, oh my god, Gru's been compromised, we need the Mega Minions! So we like see like how they all retired and stuff, like one went to Vegas, one made cheese in Switzerland for some reason, one's on the Bahamas, one's wrangling cows. I don't remember what the fucking cone one did. Or no, he was the one on the Bahamas. There was a 5th one, I just don't remember what he did. Oh yeah, he was a beekeeper. I'm the beekeeper, protect the hive. But again, there is no purpose for that to happen. It's just, we need gags because we're bored. We have no more ideas. This is Despicable Me freaking 4. I'll give it to Kung Fu Panda 4. It had a plot and story and characters. Story and plot are the same fucking things. What am I talking about? And add insult to injury, there's another friggin' subplot where Gru tries to get along with his next door neighbor and he has to play a tennis game against him because, I don't know, Challengers just came out. That has nothing to do with it. What the hell am I talking about? But anyway, he has a daughter named Poppy played by Joey King, which, by the way, I can just think of all the kids in some audiences going, oh my god, her name Poppy! Like the troll! She's the troll! It's Poppy! Yeah! But anyway, the whole thing with Poppy is that she has blackmail on Gru because he's undercover and he doesn't want his cover blown. So she wants to steal this honey badger who's like the mascot of his old school because no purpose. There's no purpose to it. She just wants to do it because, ooh, I want to be a bad guy and I want to do a heist. Eee! And then there's a whole bit where she plays Dance Dance Revolution because we got to put filler in this movie. Actually, now that I think about it, this just makes me think of that one bit from Nostalgia Critic. So yeah, they break into the school, steal the honey badger, and the only reason that this has to happen is so that the climax can happen because the principal of the school calls Maxime Lamall and is all like, hey yo, I know where Gru's at. It's an old woman. What kind of voice was that? But yeah, Gru. Hold on. Gru. Where the fuck was I going with this? Well, Gru plays a stupid tennis game. The old lady shows up at the, not a rental house. What the fuck do you call it? The witness protection house. We're just going to call it that. She shows up at the witness protection house to get the honey badger back. And they kick the shit out of her. The girls, Gru, Lucy, and whoever else is in the house. But when that's going on, Maxime Lamall shows up and steals baby Gru because if you just thought it was coincidence that the baby looks exactly like Jack Jack from The Incredibles, it's not just coincidence because it literally ends like The Incredibles where they steal the baby and you know that scene, or not that, calm down. Calm the fuck down. It's Despicable Me 4. You know that bit in Incredibles where Jack Jack turns into a little pink monster? In this, Maxime Lamall has this whole cockroach fetish, so he turns baby Gru into a baby cockroach. Where he got like little antennas, little things sticking out the side of him, and he's flying, and the whole climax is like, what was this fucking climax? I'm even trying to remember. This movie's so freaking forgettable. The baby has to save Gru, but he doesn't like Gru, and he's like, well, Junior, see ya. No, Daddy loves you. And then the baby's eyes are just going, And then he's like, oh, I'm a good guy now. I'm going to save Daddy. Yay, day is saved. Let's move back home. Oh, look, they're the fucking mega minions. That's basically the movie. Oh, actually, wait. There was this bit at the end where he visits the bad guy in prison, and they have this whole dance number, which, I'll be honest, as a Despicable Me fan from when I was a kid, I kind of like this bit where all the villains from all the previous films show up, but even that raises so many questions because, like, Vector is there, and I know, he's like the fan favorite of these movies, but last time we saw him was in that short before Migration called Mooned, where he ended up on Mars at the end. So how the fuck did he get back? And then Scarlet Overkill and her husband are there, and it's like, weren't their asses in England in that movie? But hey, the Trey Parker character showed back up, so there's that. But yeah, they have this whole dance number and the movie wraps up. I just kicked my light. Oh wait, there was one thing I forgot to mention. So, yeah, the whole baby being turned into a cockroach, they fixed that with the help of Dr. Nefario, who's so blatantly obvious not voiced by Russell Brand. Fuck Russell Brand. So in the end, Despicable Me 4 was completely No, what? No, it's not. It's bad. It's really bad. It's a good enough distraction for your kids, but adults aren't going to get anything out of it besides a few small chuckles. Fuck, these notes. It's only been a couple days and these notes are outdated. And honestly, if this is the last film in the franchise, good, because this series has been going on for far too long, and this movie is a great example that the franchise just ran out of steam and has nothing new to bring to the table. Oh, and apparently I was gonna give this shit a C. No, that ain't happening. So, okay, it's not as bad as Garfield. Will I give that a D+? Yeah, this is a C-. And again, I just don't care about these freaking movies anymore. I'm so sick of seeing these all the time. I'm done with them. I still hold a special place in my heart for the first two, and I still really like them, but I remember when I was a little kid, I used to be excited to see one of these every other summer. But now I'm just, maybe it's because I'm older, I don't know, but now I'm just done with these movies. Oh shoot, I almost forgot to mention this. The reason you will not be seeing a review from me of Maxine is because, if you saw the other day, I did a 50-minute review on South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut for the film's 25th anniversary. And I'm just gonna say it, that video took a lot out of me. I'm not even kidding. It took me a month to write, 4 hours to friggin' shoot, a week to edit, and I had to watch the movie 3 separate times to make sure I got everything I wanted to say just right. But because of that, I might need a little bit of a break. Like, not that long, not at all, not like last year when I was having issues and I'm just like, I can't do this right now. I just need maybe a week or two off, but not like off. Like, I might still have a video or two, maybe. I don't know what I'm going to be doing, because I've already seen Maxine. I saw an early screening of Fly Me to the Moon, but I honestly didn't have much to say about that one. And then when it comes to like Twisters in a few weeks, I'm actually going to be out of town when that comes out. But there is this other movie coming out called Disciples of the Moonlight. I might have to do a review on that, because that looks hilariously bad. But no matter what, I'll make damn sure you guys get a Deadpool and Wolverine review from me. That is mandatory. So yeah, I need a teeny tiny little break. I don't know what I'm going to do these next 2 weeks. Maybe there'll be one review or two. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Just, South Park took a lot out of me, man. And then what did YouTube do? Took the video down. They fucking blocked that shit. Why? I don't know. I mean, I had it up for a few days and there were no copyrights or anything. Then they're like, oh, this video's actually doing kind of decent. Take that shit down. Fuck you, YouTube. Just fuck you. I'll try to get that review back up. I'll just have to edit it down a little bit. I don't know. Despicable Me also took a lot out of me. Okay, so yeah, that was Despicable Me 4, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, turn on the notification bell, and I'll be back later with more reviews. See you then.